Alright, so all we have to do is we're going to make a quick hole block. To do that, I'm going to right click, make a 2-point rectangle. We're making this 3 by 5. We're extruding this out a distance of 2. So it's a 2 by 3 by 5 block. I'll make a new sketch over here somewhere. And let's project the geometry and make points. There's 4 points all together. And it says that the first point is located away from the hole by from the edge by 0.75. These are 1 inch apart. That the next two are 1.25 apart. And that these two are another 1.25. Let's finish your sketch. We're going to add holes to this. And let me cancel that for a second. We want to add a hole to just one of these because these are all different. The first dimension is asking for a counterbore hole. And it says that the through diameter is a 1/2 inch. And the counterbore is 0.75. The counterbore has a depth of 0.5. And this is a blind hole. It has a depth of 2. All of our points went away. So if I go back into this plus sign, I can right click and make sketch 2 visible. Now I can use these points for the remainder of the project. So let's make another hole. This time it's a countersink. It has an angle of 82 degrees. It has a large diameter up here of 1 inch. And the through hole is a 1/2 inch wide. Distance is through all. Your next point is a regular clearance hole with a diameter of a 1/2 inch. And your last hole here is another counterbore. The counterbore has a diameter of 0.375, a depth of a 1/4 inch, and the through diameter, I guess it's not going all the way through, but the other diameter is a 0.25, and that is a depth of 1 inch. Once you have this, you can uncheck visibility of sketch 2. I am going to change this to be my front view. I'm going to right click and change this to be my home view. Let's save this as your hole block. And when we go to open up a drawing file, for some reason I'm on metric templates. There we go. When you go to open up your drawing file, again you have to right click, edit your sheet so it's A size instead of C size, which means we have to change our border here. So we have a different title block, the smaller title block. I'll put in our base. It already knows I want the whole block, but we actually want the top view. I change that by clicking here on orientation. I section this in half. So we hover, draw a line through the middle, and click down below. Now these turned out a little bit bigger than what I wanted, so I'm going to go back to the first one. I'm going to edit the scale to be a 1/2 instead of a 1:1 scale. anytime that we have, let's see here. That's not what we want, is it? That's okay. Anytime we have something that looks like a circle, we want to add center marks to it. And then we're also going to add hole and thread notes. These are all specific kinds of holes. And Inventor is nice enough to do that kind of dimensioning for us. We do want to know what the overall height and width and thickness of this whole thing is, the depth. So this is all that you need. I'm asking that you print this off, clip this out, and put this in your notebook. The other part you're asked to create was the Arbor Press base. We're going to do that with a rectangle. And there's many ways you could do this, but let's just try something easy here. I'm going to draw some lines through where I think the sides of this should be. Trim off the pieces we don't need. Make another little 2-point rectangle in here. Trim that off too. And now I'm going to start to align things up. So I'm making a vertical constraint. It doesn't think that's vertical. I guess I'm making a horizontal constraint with the edge of this and my rectangle. The same thing down here. I'm aligning this midpoint up with this midpoint. And then I'm going to go through and add a couple other things. So major dimensions that I need from front to back, it says is 3.5 inches. And it should scale up my whole drawing, and it did. It says from edge to this little corner here is 2.5. This first bit is 0.69. The width of this doesn't tell you, so let's undo that for a second. This distance is what it tells you, and it says this is 0.938. It calls this 1.015. And now we have some issues. Things moved around on us. That's okay. Inventor does this sometimes. I hit escape a couple times and I clicked and dragged it up. Last one, this point to this point is 2.19. Okay. If I were to extrude that, well, you know what? Let's just go and do this last part too. So there's a circle back here. It has a radius of 0.313 and a diameter is twice the radius. Let's multiply that by 2. Also going to draw a rectangle. I'm going to snap it to its 2 quadrants. Trim off the bits we don't need on this. And it looks like it is supposed to go back a distance of 1/2 inch. And that didn't stay lined up, so let's realign this top corner with the bottom corner. There we go. And then we're also going to dimension to the center of this circle, going this direction. It should be 1.438. Oh, and this whole width we never did get, so let's drop that in. This is 2.885. Let's extrude this up a thickness of 1 inch, which it already is. We're going to add a chamfer. Where did they hide that from me? Here under fillet. So add a chamfer of 0.06, and that's going to go on not all of the edges, but these two front ones and the sides here. Apply that. Now we can make a new sketch here. We're dropping on a center point. And if we project geometry here, we can say that the center point from this back edge up to it is a distance of 1.062. And from this line down, really should be aligned with the other center point, so 1.438. Let's finish that sketch. Click on your dot, make a hole. This has a diameter of 0.225 and a depth of 0.562 inches. Last bit right here, new sketch. Let's project the geometry of this inside face. Grab our point tool. Right in the middle, we're going to make a new one. Click on hole. This has a diameter of 0.375 and a depth of 0.75. And these are both just little clearance holes. They're blind holes. They don't go all the way through. But when you drop them into your model, so let's actually save this real quick. I'll call it base. When you go back to this model and you add a new sheet onto it, let's make it half size again. What we're most interested in seeing is the depth of these holes. And if you're going to go ahead and fully dimension this, then by all means do. Again, anytime you have a circle, you want to show it as with a center point. This isn't the greatest view to show you. I'm aware of that. But it'll get the point across. If you want to go back and change how your view looks, you are more than welcome to. For adding a chamfer note, you have a button here that says chamfer. You zoom in on where it is, you click on the angle, you click on a straight edge, and you set that down. Alright, the rest you can dimension just like anything else. And I'm guessing you want to dimension this just like your paper has it. Make sure you don't leave things like this. Grab those and move them somewhere where you can see it a little bit better. With your hole and thread note, you can dimension your holes. Give specific notes on those. And continue dimensioning your part. We don't actually need any dimensions on the section view, but it is good to have as a reference for what's going on inside this object. That's it.